Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Jeremiah chapters 32 to 34. These chapters are going to continue to build on that tension between judgment and hope. Jerusalem is under siege by Babylon. God asks Jeremiah to do something that seems ridiculous on the surface by land in a doomed city. But this symbolic act reinforces God's unwavering promise that houses and fields and vineyards shall again be bought in this land. All right, let's look at chapter 32 to get started. Jerusalem is under Babylonian siege. Jeremiah is imprisoned for prophesying the city's fall, and then God tells him, go buy a field. His cousin, Hanamel, offers to sell family land in Anathoth. Jeremiah knows the city is doomed, but he buys it anyway. He signs the deed, he stores it in a jar, and then proclaims, fields shall be bought in this land, in verse 15. This isn't a real estate deal. It's a prophetic act of hope. Though judgment is near, God promises restoration. Jeremiah prays, wrestling with the tension between God's power and Judah's unfaithfulness. But God responds with clear affirmations that he is the Lord. Chapter 33, God continues the hopeful theme, declaring in verse 6, I will heal them and reveal to them abundance of prosperity and security. The righteous branch from David's line will come. He's going to execute justice and righteousness in the land, according to verse 15. This is yet another one of those messianic prophecies that points us to the coming king, the one we call Jesus. God also affirms his covenant with David and all that Levitical priesthood. He says in verses 20 and 21, if you can break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night, then also my covenant with David, my servant, may be broken. In other words, it ain't happening. All right, chapter 34. Back to the present crisis at hand. Zedekiah is king, Babylon is closing in, and God tells Jeremiah that Zedekiah will not escape, but will go down to Babylon and die in exile. Yet he will die in peace, not in battle. Meanwhile, something shameful happens. The people had just made a covenant to free their Hebrew slaves in line with God's law, Exodus 21, but then they changed their minds and forced them back into slavery. Now, because they broke their covenant, God says they'll face the sword, pestilence, and famine. Their insincere repentance brings even more judgment. Let's put a summary to this one. Even while judgment looms, God's anchor of hope is for his people, reminding them that restoration is coming, and it's coming through a coming king that we call Jesus. That's it for today. Be well, friends.